Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is Erwin C. Dietrich's 1976 Adam and Eva, also known as Girls on the Make, and there is a foreign title here, Machen Dias Gurna Machen, roughly translated Girls Who Like to Make It. Now I'm going to have a hard time showing this full cover here, but we have three girls in the cover in a prison, blah blah. Okay, can't show a lot of the nudity, but if you notice, we do have almost a seemingly like photoshopped in a way of a cover of Jess Franco's Sexy Sisters, with actually two of the actresses from that, and then another girl added at the bottom there. Okay, but they are fully nude, topless, so I can't really show it too long there. And that is the front and the back. Also, there's a lot of stuff there. And this is put out. This was put out on DVD in 2006 by, I think, ABC DVD Switzerland. And this is a PAL DVD. I bought this off of DiabolicDVD.com. It's extremely rare. And it's an Erwin C. Dietrich film. And I would say even, Erwin C. Dietrich fans aren't totally aware of this film. And it was a hard film. I never heard of it, and so it was a hard film to come by. It was suggested to me from looking at other Erwin C. Dietrich films. As you know, I've reviewed other Erwin C. Dietrich films on this page, ones that he's directed and ones that he's produced that Jess Franco has directed. Now, I made some notes up above me here, so you might see my eyes divert, but essentially what we have here is almost a pornographic cannibal holocaust in a way, or an adult cannibal holocaust. What I mean by that is almost seemingly a documentary, mockumentary, and with stars from Jess Franco's films, with stars from Erwin C. Dietrich's films, and in particular Esther Moser, who is somebody who's been in Sexy Sisters, and also Girls in the Night Traffic, and White Skin on Black Thighs, which are movies that I've reviewed in this YouTube page. Definitely one of my favorites, Esther Moser. She's in this as well. We also possibly have a real couple in here, and that's why I say a cannibal holocaust in the erotic adult genre, because you're not sure what's real, what's not real. You're not sure what stories are real, what stories are not real. And essentially what we have here is a documentary on sex. Sex with a variety of different people. Some possibly playing couples for the movie, and some actually being real couples. Not exactly sure which stories are true, which stories are not. And just like a lot of the most famous mockumentaries within the horror genre, and in the sexploitation genre, and anthology films in particular, and you look at a film like Faces of Death, they'll put in some real stuff with some fake stuff, and then that just has a powerful effect because you don't know what is real and what is not real, and your brain takes it all as real. In this particular case, we have a documentary vibe. So let's get into this film, because there's a lot of interesting things going on here, and it's a 72-minute film, so it's a short film, and it's a very, very definitely extremely unique in Erwin C. Dietrich's catalog from what I've seen so far, and definitely unique in the adult genre. So first and foremost, the music. Now, the music in this film is jazz, it's funky, it's exotic. And it sounds like there's some pieces of music in here that have been in other Erwin C. Dietrich films, even some Erwin C. Dietrich films for Jess Franco. I believe in particular White Skin on Black Thighs and Girls in the Midnight Traffic. Girls in the Night Traffic. So there's those pieces of music that are being reused again, which Erwin C. Dietrich definitely does, even in his Six Swedes films. And the music is really throughout the movie. I mean, it's wall-to-wall music. It's not loud per se, but it's there, and it definitely has a vivacious adult vibe to it, with the funky jazz and some exotic. and even some jazz that you might not necessarily hear in an adult film in that type of disco way, if you catch my drift. It doesn't have to be like that. Now, stylistically is where this kind of documentary mockumentary really takes form and takes shape into something unique. We have a case where it's acting like not like a film, where it's like you're actually watching the film being made. Like the behind the scenes on the film, which would be a special feature on a DVD, is the film. You're seeing Erwin C. Dietrich directing. You're seeing the cinematographer. You're seeing them talk to the people on the movie and what positions and so on and so forth. And then to make things even more interesting, Erwin C. Dietrich is interviewing the people before we watch them have sex, or and then even afterwards, how is that? So there's this very interesting thing going on here, and we'll even get some of the people that are having sex actually their voiceovers continually talking during the sex scene. So it's a very unique experience. Another thing that's very interesting here is that, as I say, real and not real, what is mixed. I'm also saying too, hardcore and softcore, where we definitely have, predominantly with the first couple in the movie, we definitely have hardcore sex going on here. But then in other cases in the film, with other couples and other situations, it seems like it could almost be soft. Is it simulated? The first couple's real. Is the rest what is simulated? And in some parts, it almost seems like there's, like with one couple, there was like a hardcore insert. Those up-close inserts that remind me of Mondo Erotico. And by the way, Esther Moser is like the lead in Mondo Erotico, which I've reviewed on this YouTube page. So it's very interesting, because you would think this whole film would just be all hardcore. It would all be real sex. Not the case. It's mixed up. And really the hardest is the first couple. And even the, obviously the simulated stuff would still be X-rated, because it's not 100% simulated, if you catch my drift, with fingers and mouths and hands and things like that. But it's softer than what you would typically expect. Mine, in certain angles. So it's a mixed bag. It has it all. It's a very interesting mix. Real, not real. We even have vintage blue movies in this film. Are they real? They look damn real. It looks like old movie footage. And if that's the case, this is some very hard old blue movie vintage footage. And Erwin C. Dietrich is known to show like kind of like the old time sex films, the old times, and when I say old, I mean this stuff looks really old, 20s, 30s. So I'm not even sure if that's fabricated in this film. But he is known to do that even in his Blutung Verhunen films, volumes 1 through 3. I think it was the second volume. You can see my reviews on this YouTube page as well. You can see some of the people, when they're having sex, have an incredible, almost superhuman speed. I believe there was a scene with Esther Moser where she was getting very, very fast. It was crazy. There's weird inserts with people, kind of interesting editing, representing fantasy at times. And then we have this very stylistic choice for the end of the film that involves using a piece of footage, maybe a piece of footage not used in the actual film, actually, in, I believe, White Skin on Black Thighs. I believe that's the film, and it has Kali Hansa, and the way they use the end is just freaking crazy, and it's quick, and I don't remember there being credits in this film. I mean, it really is like the Blair Witch of sex films. In terms of themes in this film, this is where things get very, very interesting, because just like the Schoolgirl Report series and those types of anthology films, which we have this serious bent amidst obvious exploitation or sexploitation, this film as well has some pretty big themes that almost could read like a you know, kind of a sex book, a student sex book, a book on sex that could be academic in a way. But we have different issues and themes. We have the idea of couples in the adult industry. We have the ideas of makeup sex after an argument, clean sex, you know, only wanting to be clean when you're having sex in the shower, in the bathroom, having sex while watching, you know, erotica or adult cinema on a TV set, threesomes, family history and how family history has a place in your sex life, lesbianism, masturbation and the differences between real sex and masturbation, and the place of fantasy within those realms as well. There's even this really crazy joke about a dog in the film, so like almost like a bestiality joke that's like, whoa, just happens there. And as I said previously, like blue movie vintage type of adult cinema, and you know, marriage and the adult genre and porn, and the positive effects of being in the industry on marriage. We also have a lot of say on very, very active sex lives in this film as well. You know, having sex multiple times every day, exhibitionism, different sexual positions, and emotions, the way emotions play in here as well. This is Adam and Eva, Girls on the Make, or Girls Who Like to Make It. This is Erwin Z. Dietrich's kind of adult film mockumentary, the Blair Witch of this. And it's interesting because we start off with a couple that's in the industry who's actually a real couple, and Erwin Z. Dietrich interviews them, and then we kind of go to just regular couples who aren't necessarily in the industry, and you're not really sure their place in this film at large and who's actually filming, the cinematographer filming the movie. So there's a lot of interesting things going on here, but you get a chance to see the set and the sets that Erwin Z. Dietrich uses in his other films, and that I hope it's not the same white shaggy carpet that he uses in a lot of his films. But this is 1976. It's extremely rare. Erwin Z. Dietrich's Adam and Eva, Girls in the Make, or Girls Who Like to Make It. There's the cover. It's like behind bars right there. Okay, which looks like it's partly taken from Jess Franco's Sexy Sisters. There it is, folks. Thank you so much for watching the Tenru Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like this one. Feel free to check out all my other reviews in this YouTube page, as well as my own personal films at youtube.com/poopydiarrhea. Thank you, and good night.